Every year, thousands of kids are targeted in a type of scam so intolerable it's seen teenage boys take their own lives. As a major international sting leads to arrests, one Australian dad who lost his son is demanding more action. A global sextortion racket broken open by an international operation led by the FBI.
The focal point of this operation was Nigeria, a central hub for perpetrators.
Law enforcement from at least 5 countries, including our own, hunting down and arresting 22 Nigerians accused of preying on vulnerable young men by posing as girls asking to exchange nudes.
At that point, the contact obviously changes quite dramatically. The messaging often is around, if you don't send us money or gift cards, we are then going to share those images with all your contacts.
This text chain, a devastating example of the catastrophic fallout for scam victims.
Hey, I sent you the pic. Did you get it? You will pay me $500. In return, I won't share your photo. I don't have any money. Can you afford $50? How do I pay? Go to the shop and buy a gift card. Mum won't let me go to the shops.
Around half of those arrested have been linked to people who took their own lives, including more than 20 young Americans.
This can be an absolutely life-changing and devastating experience. They might be demanding payment within a very short period of time, which does lead to panic. And that escalation, I think, does raise that level of fear and distress and despair.
The AFP now revealing 2 of the detained men are linked to the death of a 16-year-old from Sydney in 2023 who believed he was talking to a woman sending him sexual images. Aussie dad Wayne Holdsworth's son Mac was just 1 year older when he took his life.
I said, "Good night, mate. I'll see you in the morning." And we didn't see him in the morning. It was just the saddest moment of my life.
No way.
The 17-year-old was extorted and his nude publicly released.
To go to football training the following afternoon, and the photos had reached some of those boys. But it was so embarrassing. He never, ever recovered from that embarrassment.
But with sextortion attempts like the one that targeted Mac up more than 1,000%, what else needs to be done to stop this hideous crime?
And Wayne Holdsworth is here to give us his take on this news today. Wayne, it's good to see you. Do you think these arrests will make much of a difference?
I think they will, Sarah, because it's great to see the world law working collaboratively to ensure that at least 20 people, terrorists, are now no longer impacting negatively our kids. It's a start.
But this is a machine. I mean, you know, I've seen the stories of people getting recruited or kidnapped into running scams. Like, it's a vast thing. Is there anything government, police can actually do to prevent this sort of thing happening?
Yeah, well, Ed, I'm glad you used the word prevent, because the 20 arrests are significant, the word will spread, but it is an industry in Nigeria, for an example. And
not just there.
No, it's
stories in
worldwide.
Burma.
And, you know, the reported 300 per month of extortions, the AFP report, that's underreported. So we believe it's at least 100 a day. And so 100 a day. And we also understand that they're targeting boys between 8 and 14. 8 and 14. So the prevention is the key. That is the cure, where we're finding these predators and sanctioning them. But the prevention is the key. We need to be educating, like we do at Smack Talk, the parents and particularly the students with regard to sending nude pictures. They'll mitigate the risk totally, just about, if they don't send a nude pic. That's the key.
Yeah.
But Wayne, you know, we're talking about the age at which boys or teenagers tend to be isolated from their parents anyway. How do parents know that this is happening?
Yeah, Kate, it's a great question. And I say this often, I wish I'd known then what I know now.
Of course.
Because I would have identified signs, the signs that kids are demonstrating now and their parents need to pick up, a change in their personality, a change in their habits, all of a sudden not riding their bike anymore, spending far too much time doing stuff that is in isolation, stopping sport, not mixing with their friends, not coming on social functions with the family. Those things add up. And Kate, it's not okay just to ask the question, are you okay? I asked Mac that 100 times and he would say, I'm fine. We have to ask open-ended questions and then questions that they have to speak about their experience during the weekend, their feelings. But then we, as adults, have to have good listening skills. We have to listen to understand and not to resolve or to respond. And that's not easy, but that's what we've got to do. And signs, listening skills, open-ended questions. But then, Kate, just spending more time. On average, Australian adults spend 8 hours a day on average on social media. What example are we showing our children when we know that the children spend 4 hours a day on average after school in their bedrooms alone on social media?
You mentioned just before that young teenage boys are kind of most vulnerable, are being targeted, young men as well. Why is it them specifically?
Yeah, I think Kate hit the nail on the head. It's that they're vulnerable and they're impressionable, and that's the target market, because the cartels want a quick hit, otherwise they move on. And this is a target market. Yeah. They believe they can get a quick hit and then...
Why do you think they're... Like, young girls are vulnerable.
Yeah.
Why do you think they're vulnerable in the way that's relevant to be the victims of this kind of scam?
Well, the research says that boys are more impulsive, that they will quickly send, whereas girls might just take a couple of seconds and pause.
Hesitation.
Yeah, hesitation. That's the research. I think that might be the reason why.
Wow. It's always great to have you here.
You're doing such amazing
Thanks for
work
coming
as
in.
well.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
And like, there's a couple of people in the audience today, Gian and Josh, who have helped me recently, and they've got something that they're going to do for me, and it's to go off alcohol for 100 days and just to raise awareness about suicide prevention and maybe raise a few funds. So www.smacktalk.com.
You know what? I'll do it. I'll go without the alcohol, Wayne. I will do it.
He sees their mum and he raises them a lifetime.
Thank you so much for coming in. If you need help, crisis support is available 24/7 through Lifeline on 13 11 14.